Hey, beautiful stars. You're listening to Her Starring Role, and I'm your host, Michele Lamoureux. So happy you're joining me today. I want to talk to you about the impact that we have on one another. As I've been driving my daughter to school, on the side of the road, there's been this guy standing with multiple signs. And the one that I happen to see every morning says, "You are loved." He is standing on an incredibly busy, very unsafe space, actually, to be standing on this corner that he does with his signs. And he is there without fail every morning. And I couldn't stop thinking about it. Like, what time does he start? How long does he stay? Does he bring his lunch? Like, is this his motivation every day? Does he just show up and spend the whole day? And why is he doing it? There's just a part of me that just couldn't stop thinking about him. And it made me think about the impact that we have on one another and how sometimes we really take for granted that that fleeting second that I see the sign, it does bring a smile to my face. And I think he's achieving what he's trying to achieve, whether he reaches everyone who sees the sign or people just wish he would not be there. I don't know. I just know how it makes me feel. And it made me think about another situation I had last week where I was in a cafeteria of an office and a professional building. And one of the men that was working serving food was like a living angel. He interacted with me so, like, such kindness, and it was like he was going out of his way to just say things that were complimentary, knowing somehow it just must have been his temperament that it makes other people feel better. And I thought he is serving food in this kind of was like a greasy kind of making the hot meals like the grilled cheeses and the quesadillas, like a really hot, small area. And he shows up with that amazing personality every day. And I saw him interact with everyone in the line in the same way that he treated me. And I thought, that is amazing. And then I went to check out, and the woman there could not be bothered. And you could tell she didn't want to be there. And I also had compassion for her. I don't want to sound like I'm judging her, but I thought to myself, if she brought that kind of energy that this guy did to her job, she would probably be having a very different experience of her work because she is there every day working the cashier. And she has an opportunity not only to give out that goodness that that guy did, but to receive it in return because he was getting that kindness in return because he just was so full of joy. And it just made me feel good about people and about humanity. And it made me think about how I'm showing up and how sometimes when you do offer kindness, sometimes people they don't want to reciprocate it, whether it's a smile or a compliment. That's sort of my nature. I like to tell people, like, if somebody's wearing something that looks nice, I like to tell them that looks nice on you. Um, and I think everyone's doing the best they can, but the intention of how you show up and try to make other people feel, I think we think it's insignificant, but it really has a ripple effect. Because when I left his presence and his kindness, or I see that sign, it does something, it turns something on in my heart and it makes me feel lighter. And that impacts how I show up for the next person. Right. And by contrast, like the woman at the checkout who she wasn't mean, but she just wasn't particularly kind. Um, no eye contact. Any question was like a bother to her, which just makes your heart feel kind of sad. And part of why you feel sad is because you wish she had more joy too. At least for me, that's what I feel. So, we don't know what somebody's walking. We don't know, like, I don't know what she goes home to or what her situation is or what she's navigating. So I definitely had love and compassion for her as well. It just made me realize, though, that if that guy can show up on the side of the road with a sign every single morning trying to spread goodness, that in our multiple interactions during the day, we too can bring that joy and that kindness to somebody else and shift their mood. And gosh, it really does have that ripple effect, whether or not we realize it. Um, if you've encountered somebody who's made you feel good, you might share it with your family members or friends. But if you have that negative interaction or somebody is unnecessarily cruel or unkind or says something mean or makes you feel bad or stupid, that stays with you too. And then that impacts how you show up for the people around you. And then maybe you complain to your friends about the experience. And it just adds more negativity in this chaotic world that we're living in right now. So I wanted to just share this today because I just know that this audience, full of curious souls, is also a group of very kind and heart-centered women. I just feel you. I just know that that's who you guys are. And I wanted to invite you to, and I bet you do it already, but to just be aware of the interactions you're having with those around you, starting with your family, the level of presence and kindness you're giving to those around you. And then as we interact with those strangers, the guy that worked in that cafeteria, his name was Daniel, and I won't forget him. I really won't forget him. And the guy with the sign, I'm not going to forget him because they impacted me. And that kind of goodness really does go a long way. So, there was a time not that long ago when I was in Target and there was an older woman behind me and I had a full cart and she had like two things and I let her go ahead of me. And then another older woman came in and I let her go ahead of me too. And they were both so grateful. And I think we forget that sometimes, and I was not in a rush, that when we can make space and do something kind for somebody else, we get paid back like 10 times over by the joy that it brings somebody else. And like I said, in this crazy world that we're living in right now, more kindness is needed. Um, I deleted my Instagram app again. I just find that even there's everybody wants to tell everybody how to be. And I don't know, it just seems like there's just too much negativity in too many places. And I'm also trying to protect what comes in my energetic scent like field. And that's not the energy that I'm interested right now. Um, so do what you need to do to bring more goodness and joy to others. If you are engaging online, think about how you can make somebody uplift somebody else. If you are in a store dealing with the cashier, dealing with whoever, how can you make their day a little bit brighter? I think the more examples we can show of kindness and our humanity, the I believe in the ripple effect and the more beauty that we can bring into this planet, into this world, and we really, really need more of that right now. So, anyway, that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about today because it really is the little things in life that make such a big impact. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys today. Just an invitation to bring more joy to one another and to have compassion for those who are maybe hurting and unable to bring their best self for whatever reason that is, maybe more acts of kindness towards them will remind them that it does exist in this world of ours. Okay, beautiful star. I will be back with you next Wednesday. Thanks for tuning in and bye for now.